Okay, I made it out my mama house. Grown man things now. Different walk with the mission, look the same now. Lay it down, now I lay down in my grave. I know I'm rare, but it's just too much up at stake. Give me faith, so I can walk through the valley. I got my people around me, secure the bed like it's Cali, just making moves. Like it's 1999, it's historic, cause God making me to shine. Yeah, all the rumors that you heard is true. I'm the hype, I'm the living proof. Don't hate me cause he made me this crazy. Yeah, it's just history, baby. All the rumors that you heard is true. I'm the hype, I'm the living proof. Don't hate me cause he made me this crazy. Made me this crazy. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, we making history, baby. We making history, baby. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, ain't no mystery, baby. We making history lately. Yeah, cause we the rookies of the year. All I see is devils in my rear. Yeah, we making history, baby. It's just history, baby. This that Diana Ross singing with the Supremes. It's Barack being the president, you know what I mean. This that Moses using the staff and part in the sea. This mic hitting the moon while Billie Jean up on the screen. Like, good ain't good enough. The snakes ain't drilling us. I'm focused, baby. You want that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. Put me in the Guinness book, he made me this crazy. Hey, it's just history, baby. All the rumors that you heard is true. I'm the hype, I'm the living proof. Don't hate me cause he made me this crazy. Made me this crazy. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, we making history, baby. We making history, baby. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, ain't no mystery, baby. We making history lately. Yeah, cause we the rookies of the year. All I see is devils in my rear. Yeah, we making history, baby. It's just history, baby. History, baby. All I know is I got it. Just give me a dime in my pocket. Hey, we making history, baby. It's just history, baby. Yeah. All I know is I got it. Just give me a dime in my pocket. Hey, we making history, baby. We making history, baby. Yeah. All the rumors that you heard is true. I'm the hype, I'm the living proof. Don't hate me cause he made me this crazy. Yeah, it's just history, baby. All the rumors that you heard is true. I'm the hype, I'm the living proof. Don't hate me cause he made me this crazy. Made me this crazy. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, we making history, baby. We making history, baby. I'm making history, baby. Yeah, ain't no mystery, baby. We making history lately. Yeah, cause we the rookies of the year. All I see is devils in my rear. Yeah, we making history, baby. It's just history, baby. History, baby.
It's time to get up and get ready. Yeah. For the hottest morning show in the ATL. It's the Wake, Bake, and Coffee Morning Show. Live with Georgia First Black Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the most interactive radio show live. We bringing the hottest news, the illest independent artists, and a whole lot of love, baby. Okay. Get up, roll up, sit back, and ride. Yeah, it's the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Georgia's First Black Governor. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes. Welcome to the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the building. I'll be your host, Georgia First Black Governor. I am the lovely Mama Quita in the building with us this morning. I almost said something else, but yes. So, how y'all doing this morning? It is the Love Series. But I need to go find somebody to sing. We're going to give you a whole new theme song. Love Series. Good morning, Mr. Ricky. Good morning, Miss Long. Welcome to the WakeBake and Coffee Morning Show. Big up to my people on Facebook and my people on YouTube. I
Good
thank
morning,
y'all
y'all.
for coming in. To my people on YouTube, make sure that y'all hit that like button. Come out of the comments. Hit where it says live group chat. Hit the little X. Pow. Come out the comments. Hit the little like button. Give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube page, please go subscribe because we put up a lot of pop-up videos on YouTube. So I'm speaking to my people on Facebook right now. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, make sure you do. You'll miss out on a lot of the pop-up videos. So big up to my YouTube people. Big up to YouTube. Facebook, how y'all doing this morning? I thank y'all for tuning in and rocking out with us this morning. It is a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to be alive. I thank God I'm in the building. I am grateful for Mama Quita being here. And at this time, y'all know what it is. We give you a little time. If you haven't given God praise and thanks for being alive this morning, well, here's your time and your opportunity to do such. We'll wait. Oh, wrong wrist. Oh, okay. Cool. So, so today our topic this morning for the love series is rejection is your protection. And Mama Quita is going to get into that later on. So y'all know how we do. We start off the show. We give you a little inspirational rant. Something to just rave and rant about. Just let me slide this over. And I need to slide you out the way so I can read. There we go. And we'll be good to go. So, oh, I didn't pull up. I know what it
No,
is.
it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for tuning in and rocking out. Mama Quita got some things she got to handle real quick. But don't worry, she'll be right back. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into your inspirational rant this morning. And your inspirational rant title is Light and Void Places. That's right, light. Having light and voided places. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Cheer. 1 second. Cheer. There we go. I needed to pull up the show flow. I'm sorry. And I'm on time. Somewhat. So, here we are with your inspirational rant this morning is light and void places. It said void. What does that mean? And what does void really mean? Some would say a feeling or condition of loneliness. Others would say something without contents, or to make ineffectual, invalid, nullified, useless, vain. But I kind of like this one myself. It says containing no matter, emptiness, vacant. In Hebrew, void also meant chaos. But the word that stuck out to me was ineffectual, meaning lacking in power or forcefulness. A lot of times in life we try to fill this thing called void, only because that's what we were told to do. Not knowing what to fill it with, not being told what to fill it with, just as long as it was filled. We try to fill it with people, material things. We try to fill it with sex. We try to fill it with drugs, only to find out that these things come and go and leaves you with more void than you had before you started the filling process. The reason we continue to dwell in voided places is because of what the void is filled with. And because we don't counteract the infectual, then we remain without power and without a source of true power and forcefulness. And which brings, and without that power, it will bring by loneliness and emptiness, and we remain vacant. But in Genesis 1 and 2, it says, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. When we are in a void place, it's easy to be without form and remain in darkness. Then we replace darkness with more darkness. But in order to truly remove a void, you have to allow the Spirit of God to move upon the face of your waters. God is the only one that can say to your void and darkness, let there be light. And then look at your light and consider it to be good. No man, woman, child, sex, material possessions can ever fill a void due to most avoided themselves. Most are in darkness, chaos, empty, and contain no matter. But God contains all matter because you matter to Him. Allow God to change your vacant sign to occupied. Allow God to say you're full and not empty. He said He'll never leave you and forsake you, so that means you're never lonely. Consider yourself useful because He's called you with a purpose. And if you're infectual, become effective because now you have the backing by a true power, a true source, someone who is forceful in all his ways and and all it takes for him is to speak in your life. And all he has to say is, let there be light. We'll be back with more of the Wake Bake and Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia First Black Governor. Youth basketball season is returning to the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA. Ages range from 3 to 14. Registration begins August 12th and ends November the 2nd. There's a $100 registration fee for all children. Payment plans and scholarships are available for those who qualify. Parents, you can register in person at 2220 Hamilton Road, Southwest Atlanta, or online at ymcaregistration.com. So let's team up and score with a perfect season with the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA Youth Basketball. Are you looking to become a better parent, escaping domestic or family violence, need help with anger management, couples mediation, or just individual guidance? If this sounds like you, then contact the Georgia Life Center by visiting their website at georgialifecenter.org or give them a call at 470-395-1397 to set up an appointment because they believe everyone can lead a happy, productive life free of violence and abuse. Welcome back to the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show, man. We are here live on Love Series Thursdays. That was your inspirational rant. Big up to Georgia Life Center and Y for their commercials. You know, my internet is very stable. Stop playing games. Hey, Mama Quita. Mama Quita on pause. Mama Quita got us on pause. But it's okay. So we're here, and we are in the Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom portion of the show. I hope you understood the inspirational rant and understand the void is a bad place to be. But however, we are now at Miss Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom. I hope you did get something, and hopefully you'll get something better now. You want to take this over, or you want me to keep on the flow?
Really?
I'm just asking, Mama Quita.
That's what we doing.
Just asking. I'm trying to put a little spunk in you.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if it's a head cold or my allergy. So bear with me. My voice is a little funky this morning.
It's okay.
But Portia Kirkland's words of wisdom. Make your relationship with God a priority. When everything and everyone comes before God, you are out of order. Give God your heart. Can I say God is a jealous God, and he means what he says. He shall have no other gods before him. So when you put anything, whether it be person, whether it be material, whether it be money, you put anything before him, I promise you, he has a way of making it disappear. But you're definitely out of order because he gave you instructions. I should have no other gods before me. In your relationship, he gave us how relationships are to be structured: God first, husband, wife, children, and then your job. That does not mean that I make my husband my God, but that means that I allow him to be the head and he goes before me to God. He is the covering, but he is not my God. When everything and everyone comes before God, you are out of order. Your life becomes out of order because that means you're no longer spending time with God. That means sometimes for those of you who just didn't know any better, you never spent time with God and you're trying to figure out why things aren't falling in place. They aren't falling in place because they're out of order. Place God at the top of your chain, whether it be your food, well, it can be your food chain. Sorry. Place God at the top of your chain, and I promise you, all else will fall in place. Make him your priority. Spend time with him. Get in his presence. He loves nothing more. I promise you, your life will also follow in order. That's it.
That's it. Hmm. Wow. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Only thing I could say at this point with that is this. Um, as I spoke about being void and gave the definitions of what void meant, God is the complete opposite of everything that is voided: emptiness, vacancy, ineffectiveness, loneliness. So, again, if you put God first, if you allow Him to come in, if you allow Him to be first, if you allow Him to be your head, then you won't have the emptiness, the loneliness, the voidness, the ineffectiveness. You will have real power behind you. You will be able to have real force behind you. You will have true love walking with you on a daily basis. So to allow God to be the head, then you're pretty much good to go. And I promise you, life will be a whole lot better. So, with that being said, y'all know what that means. That's your Miss Portia Kirkland words of wisdom for today. You can follow Miss Portia Kirkland at pkfaith.com. That is at pkfaith.com. Or you can follow her at pkfaith on Facebook. That's right, at pkfaith. Let me see if they're going to let me uh, put it in here. No, pkfaith. Let's see if it comes up. Yep, I think. No, why does she got it? No, that can't be right. It's a cat on that picture. But anyway, you can follow Miss Portia Kirkland at pkfaith.com, at pkfaith.com. And that is your Miss Portia Kirkland words of wisdom for the day. If you would like to see it, read it, comment on it, you can find it on the Fans of the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show page and Georgia First Black Governors page and Queen of the Jokes page on Facebook. So, we're going to take us a quick break. And when we come back, we gonna jump into this love series. For real, for real. Is your rejection could be your protection.
Y'all give me life. I'm starting to feel better.
I can't wait to hear this. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Mom Queen. And hopefully by the time we get off, I can get that smile that I'm accustomed to seeing. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We'll be right back with more of the Wake Bake Coffee Morning Show right after this.
Someone told me love was only in the movies. It don't exist in real life these days, no. But you showed me if I only just find the faith I need to believe. Anything is possible if you want it bad enough. Know the sky ain't too high, that's your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. That dreams come true. Hey, everything feels just right. I guess when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma have you like, did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? Hey, someone told me that it's unlikely to do all the things you wanna do, 'cause life just ain't fair now. But don't be lonely, find somebody, then it won't be so hard for you to see that anything is possible if you want it bad enough. Know the sky ain't too high, that's your limits. You can feel unstoppable, incredible. Almost there, I can see I'm so ready. This has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Hey, everything feels just right. Yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma have you like, did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? Everything that I've ever wanted right in front of me. Not a dream, eyes wide open. Girl, I'm here and I'm coming in. Doors are closing. I won't run 'cause I'm chosen. I won't run 'cause I know that this has gotta be tonight. The dreams come true. Hey, everything feels just right. Yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love? I'ma have you like, did you feel my love? Oh, yeah, when I'm with you, you know that I'll be holding on. Did you feel my love? Did you feel my love?
The realtor that you can relate to, Mika Calloway, is back in the most sought after seminar in Atlanta, Your Home for the Holidays, taking place Sunday, October 27th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA. Come join and learn the process of home ownership. Discussions will include lending by Miss LaShante Harris from L. Harris Loans, the closing process by Dana Stiff Gray from Gardner Stiff and Gray Attorneys at Law, taxes by Miss Paulita Holmes, home buying and selling by the one and only Mika Calloway. To attend, you must register on Eventbrite at yourhomeforholidays.eventbrite.com. So come and join Mika Calloway and friends at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA to have your home for the holidays. At Starting and during Walter Young Family YMCA, our staff lives by one golden rule: smile. And what does that mean? Serving members in love every day. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my man Marcus Rogers. Here's Marcus Rogers, Without You. And we'll be back with Mama Queen of Love series after this.
I've come too far to give up now. Made it this far, I wonder how. Father, I just wanna make you proud, and I don't ever wanna let you down. Carrying my cross, I chase the crown. Life get heavy, knees hit the ground. Battle cry in my heart to hear the sound. Sweat just dripping from my brow. Driving to the lane, I'm getting foul. Devil been talking, getting loud, but I ain't tryna blend in with the crowd. Cause what did they ever do for me? Man, I was blinded, now I see. Made mistakes, can't blame the enemy. It's time to confront the enemy. So I'm here and I'm praying, I'm bending knees. Yeah. I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you. I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you. I made mistakes, I see it now. I got these tears, I'm breaking down. Smiling when everyone's around. Won't ask for help cause I'm too proud. But Lord, you see beyond my mask. And you know that I won't last. You say slow down, I'm moving fast. I'm chasing the love, chasing the cash. I'm chasing the high and then I crash. Your love is the only thing that lasts. You know my future, see my past. And you see when I'm running out of gas. I cannot hide from you. Even in my mess, you got me through. Saying not my will, but yours be done. I messed up and I jumped the gun, but I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you. I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you. I've come too far to turn around. You brought me here, won't let me down. I've come too far to turn around. You brought me here, won't let me down. No, I can make it with you. I can take it with you. I ain't breaking with you. I can make it with you. I can take it with you. I ain't breaking with you. I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you. I can't make it without you. Can't take it without you. Been faking without you.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm
Mama Quita.
and this here is the Mama Quita's Love series.
Y'all know what time it is.
So grab your pen and your pad and put on your thinking caps. And let's get down to this relationship business.
Y'all know what time it is.
Mama Quita's Love series.
Yes. Welcome back to the Mama Quita Love series. We are here live with the lovely Mama Quita. You know, I ain't like the way that played. Hold on one second. Y'all know what time it is.
Hey y'all. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm
Mama Quita.
and this here is the Mama Quita's Love series.
Y'all know what time it is.
So grab your pen and your pad and put on your thinking caps. and let's get down to this relationship business.
Y'all know what time it is.
Mama Quita's Love Series.
Yeah, there we go. Now you played all the way through like you was supposed to. Give Mama Quita the proper introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Sit at your desk, clap, whatever it is you gotta do. Give Mama Quita the proper introduction. Don't skip. Don't skip. You say, oh, turn up my mic. Oh, because sometimes when I hear the replay, it's echoing. So I'm sorry. So, yes. So give Mama Quita the proper love series. The love series introduction. Yes. Yes. Hey, Mama Quita. Let me see some hearts on the screen for Mama Quita on Facebook. Facebook, can I get some hearts for Mama Quita, please? Please. Can I see some hearts on the screen on Facebook? Especially since I'm 2 minutes ahead of schedule. Can I get some hearts on the screen on Facebook for Mama Quita? There we go. There we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So without further ado, can I get a what's up on YouTube? A hey Mama Quita. Hey Mama. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I'm known to butcher names. Okay.
You are.
Yes, I'm butchering the names.
Good morning, y'all. Okay, so Facebook, YouTube. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for coming
They said
in.
they love you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about something that nobody escapes. I don't care who you are. If you are on this earth, you cannot escape rejection. It's going to come at some point in your life. And the fact is, it hurts. It leaves a lasting apprehension that cannot be shook unless you go back to the root of the problem. Nobody escapes rejection. If you don't experience it in your childhood, you will experience it at some point in your adult life. Nobody escapes rejection. So what is rejection? Rejection is when a person or a group of people exclude or refuse an individual or acknowledge to accept that person. Everybody, again, deals with rejection at some point. You don't get a job that you wanted. You don't join a club that you wanted. You don't get picked for the team that you wanted. You experience a breakup. A friend no longer talks to you. You go through a divorce. Sometimes people even feel like the death of a loved one is rejection. Someone may walk out of your life, a parent, a husband, a boyfriend, a friend. It doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to feel someone leave, and it's going to feel like rejection. The Latin meaning of rejection means to throw back. When you are wanting to be wanted by someone, and they basically throw you back, that does not feel good. Rejection paralyzes you. It causes you to be stuck, unable to move forward in any capacity. Rejection, it hurts because it's a wound to your soul. You can't patch it up like you do a scrape or a scratch or a cut. It wounds your very soul. It's so powerful that studies show on an MRI that rejection stimulates the same area of your brain that physical pain stimulates. I'm saying rejection is equal to getting cut, kicked, punched, beat, it stimulates the same area of your brain so much that they did a study where they used subjects, and the subjects were to relive their pain, their rejection. And they gave some of the subjects Tylenol and they gave the other subjects sugar pills as a placebo. The Tylenol literally lessened the pain of the ones who took the actual Tylenol. And the ones who took the sugar pill, they went through the full force of the pain as they relived the situation.
Wow.
So rejection hurts. It hurts physically, mentally, emotionally. It hurts down to the very soul. A wound soul is an internal infliction. One can liken it to being kicked to the chest and then having internal bleeding. Bleeding that cannot be seen physically, but pain so unbearable that it restricts you from the freedom of movement at times. You have become captive, bound to your own internal wounds. You can't trust others. You don't know how to trust yourself and the choices you make. You're angry at others, including yourself and God. You're lashing out to people. Some people do the opposite. They become timid and apprehensive. So it makes them people pleasers. It makes them, because they don't want the rejection, they are the yes people. They say yes to everything because they don't want to tell no one no. Some people lose motivation. You don't want to go out there and look for the job no more because you're scared you're going to continue to be turned away. You begin to isolate yourself because you don't even want to risk the pain of someone else hurting you. You pretend you're happy being alone. So you decide love is no longer a choice. You're good being by yourself, all because of rejection, the fear of rejection. And some people even go as far as becoming homosexual because I've been hurt and abandoned and rejected by people of the same sex for so long. Maybe the other sex will do something different for me. But here's the catcher. You ready?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Because the last one just threw me for a little.
Sometimes the internal bleeding goes undetected so long that it becomes a part of the person. And because we can't see the bleeding on the outside, you don't even realize they're bleeding until they start bleeding out on you. That's when their bleeding becomes your bleeding. It's contagious and it's infectious. Many of us have cohabitated with the pain so long that we've forgotten that it's not normal. Okay. It's all right, Heather. You good.
Right. And my mom said
Their reactions are natural.
I was saying you had comments on YouTube.
Their reactions are now a natural part of them, and they have no clue why they can't have a healthy relationship. They have no clue why they can't get that promotion or even that job. Some people feel like they got to come in and be Captain Saberhub. Some people feel like they've got to constantly be around other people, and other people feel like they have to constantly criticize and look down on, no matter what your reaction is because we a lot of times liken it to a characteristic. It becomes a part of who you are. You're mean, you're nasty. You might be a pushover, but it all stemmed from that initial rejection. Rejection will cause you to shrink. You're in the room with others and you're normally a bubbly person. And I know this for a fact because this used to be me. I'd be in a room full of people. I'm always a bubbly person for the most part. I'm smiling. And my personality, when I begin to talk, can be bigger than life. And then when I get around certain people, I feel like I have to shrink myself. Well, I used to feel like I had to shrink myself. I couldn't be who I wanted to be because they might look at me differently, because they might say, oh no, she doesn't belong here. What's her problem? Why does she have to shine? And it's not that I'm doing it on purpose. It's just my personality. Because it's different. I'm different. I don't fit in. Afraid of the rejection. You will never be able to be who you were created to be, designed to be, or live up to what your full potential is unless you go back to the root of the problem. You have to go back and begin to stitch up that wound. You have to change out the dressings and disinfect it. Take care of it so that it heals properly. You have to go back to the initial place of rejection and deal with it. You've got to first off come out of denial. Call it what it is. Identify it. And allow that to take its full effect. You have to be able to deal with it internally and then externally. Grieve it properly. Feel the pain, go through the pain, cry it out, be angry. Grieving is a process in itself. Y'all go back and look up what the process of grieving is. It's 7 stages to grieving. Go through the grieving process. And then once you've gone through it, come back and let the potter put you back together because you're broken. But the good thing is you're beautifully broken. Because once you're broken and you allow yourself to go back to God and allow Him to put things back together for you, He begins to reveal exactly why He allowed you to go through that. And then you learn how to deal with it properly, how to put it in its place. You learn how to, instead of look at that rejection as a negative thing and respond to it negatively, you look at it as a positive thing and learn how to make your life grow from it. So at an early age, my father left. And I can remember him not being an active part of my life. And then when I would call, he would make promises that were not fulfilled. And then when I got of age, a little bit older, my sister would take me over there. And I would look, because I had a little sister and a stepbrother. And I would look at their life, and their life was like, so they was living a plush life. I mean, my sister, she had a closet full of name brand shoes. They were going to a private school. At least that's what it looked like from the outside looking in. So to me, I always felt like I was rejected because he never reached out to me. I felt abandoned. And then as I got older, I did not allow men or boys, males, period, men or boys, to get within arm's length of me because I saw what my mom went through, my best friend's mom went through. I saw what aunts went through. I heard the stories of other women. And then as I got old enough to experience things myself, and I personally didn't go through it until I got really, really into my 20s because I didn't even deal with relationships until I got there. But as I got older and I looked at my friends and I was looking at the relationships that they dealt with, and it was like the common thread of rejection. So I didn't have trust of other people. And for me, that was coming up. Trust for other people, it was both male and female, to be honest. So I took the road easier travel for me was, okay, I moved pretty much by myself. I had certain people that I dealt with, and I allowed certain people to get so close to me. But then once I felt like they were getting too close, I would sabotage and push them away. Hold on, back up. You got to back it up. You're getting too close. And then as I got older, when I started working, I mastered putting on a face of being a people person. I really didn't like people, but I mastered it. I smiled because I had a job where I had to deal with people on a regular basis. I smiled, and I can make you feel like you are homely, close to me, but you're really not. All of that stemmed from rejection. And it wasn't until I placed myself in the potter's hand for him to begin to clean me up that I realized even my marriage failing, and me having, when I did decide to have relationships, me not being able to maintain healthy relationships, it all stemmed back to that initial rejection of my father. And when I went back and dealt with that, then was I able to start really moving forward in who I was. As the healing became, what's the word? As the healing became noticeable, people noticed my attitude changed. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm still the same person. Good will tell y'all I'm still the same person I was in high school for the most part.
Right.
It's just that now where I am, I'm happy, and I realize in this world of dating, prior to finding who I found, the world of dating, I learned how to understand that rejection is God's protection. If I had not gone through the rejection, if I had not gone through the abandonment, and I'm adding abandonment because really, abandonment and rejection are basically the same. It is the not accepting of a person, throwing them back, leaving them standing there, wondering with a hole in their soul. But God will use that very hole to create you to be a stronger person, to build the character that He put inside of you, for you to become that purpose that He created you for before He placed you in your mother's womb. That's who He created you to be. Mr. Claire said, we first Most learn that it's okay to be rejected. We just have to learn not to be affected by it. To do that, you must fill yourself up. Like Gov said earlier, people fill themselves with sex, drugs, etc., but it's a void. Fill yourself with Christ every day. If not, you won't have the strength to not be affected. Absolutely. You said that so perfect.
Pastor. I ain't mean to
You
call you
said
out,
that
Ricky.
perfect. And I promise you, if we all lived a life where we were actually going after God and not going after celebritism or going after being popular or doing that which other people wanted us to be, we wouldn't even have this problem of rejection, because it wouldn't matter who rejected you. You would know that the ultimate goal is not for people to accept you, but for God to accept you.
Amen to that.
And once you start living your life for the acceptance of God and the approval of God, then all else does not matter. So that means other people no longer have power over your actions. No one any longer has power over the things you choose to do. You're no longer a puppet to anyone else, because you know what your truth is. You know where your value lies, what your worth is, and you demand it, not willing to settle for less at any point. That's what matters. But you have to reach that point. And what I realize is, if you never go through anything, if you're never broken, we never go looking for God. He has to break us. He has to put us in a place where we have to see that he is God and God alone. Especially when he has placed a purpose and a destiny down inside of you. Some of us, the very purpose of you is to be a mother, to be a wife. Some of you, it is, I believe, some people are designed to be by themselves so that they can have a greater impact in the kingdom. But whatever your purpose is, he created you with a purpose. But until you're in a place where you can actually see what that purpose is and know what that purpose is, and that comes from spending that time in his face, in his presence, you'll continue to be a puppet. You'll continue to allow the rejection, the abandonment to control who you are, what face you put on when you come into a room. You'll allow that to control what people see versus them seeing you. They'll see the act. We all have an act because we all have internal wounds that need to be dealt with from the root. Out of your rejection, there's always protection, because in the end, he's going to keep you from being with that person you weren't supposed to be with. He's going to keep you from, now let me say this, because I don't want to say this and then someone takes this wrong. He will keep you from the danger seen and unseen when you allow him to. Because if you push and push, he'll allow you to go where you want to be. I hope y'all caught that. Because a lot of times we're warned before we go into certain areas. We're warned before we do certain things. You see those red flags. And red flags told you he was going to whoop your behind, but you continue to deal with him. Those red flags told you not to go on that highway, but you decided to drive that car anyway. And then you want to be mad at God. No, You rejected God the same way you deal with rejection from people every day. He's not putting anything on us that he's not already dealt with in the flesh as Jesus Christ. But again, rejection turns around to be your protection. It makes you stronger. Things that you didn't think you would make it through, you realize just how strong you were when you decided to face that abandonment, face that rejection, and say, you no longer control me. I will be free. I'm not going to let the fear of this possibly happening again keep me from where I'm supposed to be. Right, Ms. Long, he gave us the signs, but they were ignored fully and consciously.
No comment.
We knew better. A lot of the things that we did, either we did them because we was afraid of being rejected, you know, that peer pressure. I was in that car when I knew I ain't had no business being in that car. And then we had a drive-by shooting and I should have been dead. Yeah. Consciously made those decisions. I was in that car. I knew I had no business being in that car. We had the accident and the wall on 20 still has the marks from my car. And I should have been dead because I knew I had no business in that car. Yeah, about that.
Know about that one. Good morning, DeMarco. Good morning, Miss Stevie Steve. And good morning, Miss Precious.
Right. Rejection, y'all. We have to be in a place where we can do, where we understand that man's rejection is God's protection, and it gets us to a place where we're supposed to be. That's just, it is what it is. In my relationship, when my husband left, before my husband left, when I got married, because of the issues of rejection that I had never dealt with, when we first got married, early in my marriage, I would always say, oh, so you gonna leave? When he would get mad. Oh, so you gonna leave? You gonna leave? And then it got to the point where he was so angry and he said, if you gonna put me out every time I get mad, I'm gonna leave. And it was like, and I was like, what? It took me a minute, but then I realized I'm pushing you away before you have the opportunity to reject me. So it's a defense mechanism.
You rejected yourself.
Right. And a lot of us do that. We push people away to keep them from rejecting us first. If I push you away before you have the opportunity to reject me, it's not going to hurt that bad. And the truth is, it still hurts. I don't care how you look at it, it still hurts. But it's a defense mechanism. Now, every time I get into a situation where it even resembles anything that once hurt me because of the embeddedness of the memory, now I've got to avoid it. So you live your whole life avoiding rejection, or you learn how to process rejection in a healthy way and understand that all rejection is not bad. I've had people reject me that I am so glad they rejected me. Because had I went that road with them, I would be in a bad situation. Some of them I may be dead. Some of them, they may be dead. I'm just saying. I might be locked up right now. But in the end, I'm just saying, we have to understand that everything that God does in our lives, there's a purpose and a plan behind it. Period. Point blank. All right, let's go to a commercial for a minute.
We'll be back with more of the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show, live with Georgia's first black governor. America's swim instructor. Each year, the YMCA teaches millions of children how to swim. We have swim starters for ages 6 months to 3 years old, swim basics ages 3 years old and up, and swim stroke ages 3 years old and up. All you have to do is go to ymcaatlanta.org to register. The Y is here for good. Y'all know what time it is. Mama Quita
Love series.
Y'all know what time it is. Mama Quita Love series. Mama Quita. Y'all know what time it is. Are you looking to become a better parent, escaping domestic or family violence, need help with anger management, couples mediation, or just individual guidance? If this sounds like you, then contact the Georgia Life Center by visiting their website at georgialifecenter.org or give them a call at 470-395-1397 to set up an appointment, because they believe everyone can lead a happy, productive life free of violence and abuse. Youth basketball season is returning to the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA. Ages range from 3 to 14. Registration begins August 12th and ends November the 2nd. There's a $100 registration fee for all children. Payment plans and scholarships are available for those who qualify. Parents, you can register in person at 2220 Hamilton Road, Southwest Atlanta, or online at ymcaregistration.com. So let's team up and score with a perfect season with the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA Youth Basketball. The realtor that you can relate to, Mika Calloway, is back in the most sought after seminar in Atlanta, your home for the holidays, taking place Sunday, October 27th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA. Come join and learn the process of home ownership. Discussions will include lending by Miss LaShante Harris from L. Harris Loans, the closing process by Dana Stiff Gray from Gardner Stiff and Gray Attorneys at Law, taxes by Miss Paulita Holmes, home buying and selling by the one and only Mika Calloway. To attend, you must register on Eventbrite at yourhomeforholidays.eventbrite.com. So come and join Mika Calloway and friends at the Andrew and Walter Young Family YMCA to have your home for the holidays. Yeah, so y'all know what time it is. We could not do the love series without playing the theme song to the love series. So here's Mama Quita's baby daddy without the baby. I still ain't wrapped my head around that yet. And to whoever this new dude is, I'm going to tell you, this is your competition right here, son. Just let me be honest with you. And we'll be back with more Mama Quita Love Series right after this.
Something I need to know, then take my breath and never let it go. If you just let me invade your space, I'll take this pleasure and take it with the pain. And if in the moment I bite my lips, baby, in the moment you know this is something bigger than us beyond bliss. Give me a reason to believe in. And if I want got to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta got to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. I know your motives and you know mine. The ones who love me, I tend to leave behind. If you know about me and choose to stay, then take this pleasure and take it with the pain. And if in the moment you bite your lip, when I get you moaning, you know it's real. Can you feel the pressure between your hips? I'll make you feel like the first time. And if I want to keep you, I got to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I gotta got to love you harder. Love you harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Harder, 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 harder. So what do I do if I can't figure it out? I gotta try again. Oh, so what do I do if I can't figure it out? Said I'ma leave again. Said I got to love you, babe. I said I gotta love you, babe. And if I really need you, I got to love you harder. Love you harder. And if I want to keep you, I got to love you harder. I gotta love you harder. And if I really need you, I got to love you harder. Love you harder.
Yeah.
Love you, love you, love you. Harder, harder, harder.
This is so sketch.
Love you, love you, love you, love you.
You back at it again.
Harder, 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 harder.
ODLTL.
Yes. Sean Isaac. Love you harder. Here on the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show, Mama Queen of Love Series. That is the Love Series theme song. So my dude, you know, Mama Queen came on here like 3 days in a row, looking cute for you now, son. Let me just let you know, you need to learn the lyrics to that record, okay? And you, as long as you can get through that record, you'll be good. Just know that that is your competition. I'm just putting you up on game. I know Mama Queen for a long time. I'm just trying to help you out, son. I'm just trying to help you out. That's all. Just, you know, I'm a friend of the family. Just trying to help you out.
Can I just say, I don't appreciate you putting my business out like that. I mean, good gracious.
That's cool. I'm just trying to put him up on game. That's all. He'll be okay. You'll be okay too.
Nobody said nothing.
Hey, look, you got a baby daddy with no baby. That everybody's trying to figure out how the hell that works. So listen. So I just, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I tell you. I had to take a sip of water on that one, y'all. I'm sorry. He just all up in here. I'm just saying, all up in this side over here.
I'm sorry,
Putting it out there.
Excuse me. I'm just trying to help the brother out. Just don't want him failing like
Whatever.
That's all. I don't want him to be rejected. You know. Then he become full of void and want to jump off the bridge and run in front of the train and shit. I just, you know, I'm just trying to help him out. That's all, you know. You can deal with your internal side, son. I'm just saying. I'm just trying.
Y'all hear this foolishness?
I'm
I'm
just
just
trying to help you, bro.
this is some foolishness.
You know, I took notes, so it's easy to re-quote you because I took notes. That's all. And son, if you do get rejected by Mama Quita, please don't fall into this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th point she made. Please don't become that type of sexuality. Don't let your internal bleed you out into that, son. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do that one, son. See, Ricky thought it was funny.
I don't have the power to do that. I'm praying that if we don't make it, that he will be able to go find another woman and not a man. I don't think that's a problem because he is definitely not that type, but okay. I'm just saying I don't have enough power to do that. So we're not even going to say that's what's going to happen. I don't think that's
if you do,
him.
I got a remedy for him. If you do, just go find Alicia Keys. I mean, she turned Juicy straight on the show. So I'm just saying, it might help you out. I'm just saying. It helped out Juicy for a little while till he lied in the snow. So I mean, just a little bit. He probably should have got a double portion. He probably should have got a double portion. I'm just saying.
Yeah, see how messy he is. He just messy. He just messy. Just messy. Don't co-sign him. Don't co-sign him. Don't do that.
Listen, me and Ricky go back almost 25 years. He know I ain't gonna say nothing that shouldn't be said. I'm just trying to help the brother out. And what you better be good. And you better hold Mama Quita down too. Ain't no popping in and leaving. I don't want to hear no rejection foolishness from this dude, whoever you are. You better hold it down and stay down. Because then the whole WakeBake Coffee Morning Show family gonna pull up. And we shoot at folks. We stopped fighting back in the 90s. I'm just saying. Mr. Claire said the cosign is in effect. That's what I'm saying. We bust caps, son. We stopped fighting long time ago. So get it right, son. Get it right. I'm just saying, get it right.
I cannot. So y'all, I hope everybody got my point today. Let them know, bro. Really, that's what we doing?
Hey, okay. That's what we doing. So, son, I'm letting you know. Get it right. And one day we will get to see your face. And I need to see your face so I know what you look like, just in case I have to come find you. And that's probably why she ain't introduced you to me yet. But it's all right, though. I keep a AK, a SK, a AR, and we keep them things that you keep on your waist. This is why I believe in the Second Amendment. I'm just letting them know. What to do, Big Juice? Yeah, I sure did. I wanted him to know what he gonna get himself into. So treat her right, be nice, learn the lyrics to this song. If I got to play it again for you, let me know. Just learn the lyrics to this song and take heed and go buy you a Bible because you're gonna need one. That's all I can tell you, son. You're gonna need that. Get you a Bible, get deep in the Word, and learn the lyrics to that song. And boy, you might be good to go. Just a little friendly advice. That's all. I'm done.
Now,
what to do, Big Juice?
Y'all see how he put me out there, right? He putting all that out there. He warning folks. I ain't said nothing about the young lady that he's been sitting up here talking about because I ain't met her yet either. So I'm just saying, while we all putting it all out there.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
See, right. This is a one-way street, not a two-way street. So I think I lived in New York too long. I got comfortable with the one-way street. So, son, no, she can't pull up at my house talking about nothing, because I will put her ass out before Mama Queen to get there. So you ain't got to worry about that. Goodbye.
That we see, y'all see how this works. Y'all see how this right here. This is not equal at all. This is what we call inequality. There's no justice here. That's all I'm saying. No justice.
Have you ever been to a nail salon?
Yes, I have.
Well, when y'all fix the inequality in the nail salon, then I will make inequality. Then I will make equality here on the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show. Tired of spending that extra $10 to get my toes done because that's the price. Why it costs $25 for you, but $38 for me? That's extra $13. And y'all want equally.
You know what? Hey, I can't. Okay. I cannot with you. I can't. Just can't.
They said they got it.
So y'all, my mom, you got it. I got it too. We in the cahoots, like we see eye to eye, because I got it too. I got it, but we ain't paying him no attention. I love him, but we ain't paying him attention.
But let me ask you this question though, before I put all jokes aside. How is it for people to really, because some people don't know when they are being rejected. So how can you recognize rejection? And then once you are rejected, if you have no relationship with God, how do you get over the rejection part?
Well, first off,
we're grown adults now, but do you still ever feel like a kid again sometimes? Yeah, Big Juice. Every time I come on the WakeBake Coffee Morning Show, I try to be as childlike as possible. I was told that is the quickest way to get to heaven. You have to be childlike.
Your faith has to be that of a child.
Right. That means loving, giving, pure honesty, pure love. I'm still working on it though.
I don't care how grown you are. You should always have times where you feel like a kid again. You should always make time to feel like a kid again. I play with my kids. My kids know I'm mama, but we all sit and play like adults. Like kids. That's just part of living life freely. If you always play the quote unquote adult road, you never get to let your hair down. You never get to relax. You never get to laugh and enjoy life. So yeah, we all need to feel like kids at some point again, over and over.
Whoa, that was loud. So what happened when you lose your hair? How you let it down then? I'm confused. And you don't like being confused.
You ain't got to worry about it because you ain't got nothing to let down. Thank you. Now back to the question of rejection. Back to the question of how do you know you've been rejected? Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. Anytime that it is what it is, rejection means to be rejected by someone or a group of people. So maybe I could see someone not seeing rejection in not getting a job. They may not see that as rejection, or not being recruited for a group, or something you tried out for, you didn't get chosen or picked. I could see you being confused and seeing that as not, I'm not going to say confused, because it's all about your perspective. I can see you not interpreting that as being rejection. But if someone in particular is rejecting you, you know it's rejecting. And the only thing is you may be in denial and saying it was not rejection because you really want that person to accept you and be a part of your life. But there's no way you can really say, I truly didn't know that I was rejected. If you've been in a breakup, if you've been in a divorce, if your friends that you've called friends or acquaintances that you've dealt with no longer speak to you, you already know that's rejection. It's no confusion there, I don't think.
I wouldn't necessarily say confusion. It's more so of as opposed of like, most people don't see it coming, so to speak.
Now that, yes. Big Juice say, girl, I've been rejected so many times I gave up, especially by my ex. I've tried so many times with her, it's impossible. It is one thing to be rejected and don't see it coming. I've had over the last 3 years people that have been with me between 12 and 25 years that have completely walked away that I never thought I would no longer be speaking with. That hurts. That is rejection. And it does have a more lasting effect than someone who, one, was in my life for less time, or two, I could see. With me, I'm very observant. So I pay attention to everything. And I pay attention to how you treat other people. So if I see you're a person who is usually shallow, you treat others one way and then come back and talk about them, then yeah, I expect that from you. So if you decided you didn't want to talk to me no more, it wouldn't bother me one bit.
Gotcha.
But that friend that's been there for 20 years that decided to walk away and not say anything, yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that. That one actually hurt. So now I got to take it to the throne and be like, okay, God, I don't know what your purpose was with this. I don't understand. This hurts. Why would this person walk away from me? Help me to understand. And the thing about it is when you have that type of relationship and you can be that honest with God and he can be honest with you, he'll begin to show you exactly why that person was removed. Even though they may have rejected you. For me, I'm a loyal person because I've had issues with abandonment and rejection. I'll hang on to a person. I will hang on. I would not turn my back on you because I know what that feels like. So for me, God literally has to remove them on his time and his own.
Oh, so you like in Vogue?
It takes someone, huh?
I said, so you like in Vogue? You just like
Right.
Hold on.
Right. Oh, hold on. Right. So it takes him removing them people, or it takes him allowing them to do something to me beyond what I allow for my personal self awareness, and my self-preservation. That's the word I was looking for. And once you hit that line, then yeah, no, he ain't got to say nothing because I'm gonna cut you off myself.
Be nice, Mom.
At that point, you cut yourself off to me.
So yeah, because I was gonna say, you said rejection sometimes is God protection. Rejection can sometimes be a great thing, and just listening to you, you can also look at rejection as you've outgrown. For the reason why some will walk away or reject you
Yes.
because you have outgrown that person. Mr. Clay said, I got rejected about 3 times today, but I'm not affected. I had to fill up again. Already? It ain't even 11 o'clock. 3 times? I probably would have punched the third one in the face. You pow! Don't tell me no.
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry.
And you have to, but the funny thing is, you
Good morning,
have
MTV.
to. Good morning. But you have to also understand that, like you said, Mr. Claire, you had to fill up again, and you literally have to fill up again.
Man.
You do have to fill up again,
Right.
because rejection will also, it will also deplete you.
Now,
If we don't deal with these issues, they'll deplete you
now,
completely.
what's crazy to me is, you know, we do this show, and you didn't tell me. You said I started work at 4:30. That's the time I get up. I walk through the work door at 6. I don't have to worry about being rejected 3 times. I reject people all the way here. So maybe I'm doing this wrong. But Mama Quita, we didn't talk about I didn't find out what you was going to talk about today until probably about 3 minutes before we came on the show. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
So I didn't know what Mama Quita was going to talk about prior to us coming here. 2, I found Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom maybe an hour before the show started. And then I was supposed to have worked on my inspirational rant last night. I started working on it last night, not knowing what Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom was, and not even knowing what Mama Quita's love series was going to be. I didn't finish the inspirational rant until about 6:30 this morning. I found Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom around an hour later. And then maybe an hour and 30 minutes after that is when I got what the love series is about. What is very I love how God moves through this show. And I know sometimes I come on here and I could be a little outraged. And by the way, I was supposed to say this earlier. For those that was offended by that picture on Ratchet Tuesdays, please forgive me. Okay? We was just having a little fun. And also I put it out because the first thing I said is women, y'all need to stop having men put up pictures of you like this. To start off to say the conversation today dealing with being void, and then go into the words of wisdom to tell you that you should have God first, and then to come in and to realize that you're talking about rejection, and upon rejection being the protection that you need, and how it can be a protection from God. When you put all of these things together, rejection will bring about void. It can take you to a dark, empty place.
Absolutely.
And hold on, let me, so I can see it for myself. Close. And then it says, and Portia Kirkland Words of Wisdom was, make your relationship with God a priority. Right. So, And then I said, God is the only one that can say to your void in darkness, let there be light.
Hmm.
Okay. And then you come out and you mention the abandonment, grieving, crying it out, going through the 7 stages agreement, being able to get to the root of your problem, looking for healing, uh, come out of denial, um, all of the things that rejection will put you into, killing personal relationships, which will allow you to piggyback off other relationships,
Yep.
um, being able to deal with your past issues, being able to, and then when you said that rejection stimulates in the brain just as physical pain does, and it causes it, and you said one of the key points that you made was rejection breeds internal bleeding, and not only does the internal bleeding comes in, it becomes a part of the individual. So in order to replace what has become a part of you means that you have to recognize it,
Yep.
meaning that you have to understand that there is some emptiness, meaning that you have to understand that if you place God first, and you said this as well, everything else would typically fall into place. Mr. Clare said that is a good thing. Um, it's crazy how it all ties together. Um, I have a question for Mama. If an ex doesn't come back and everything is cool, how do you erase those bad memories because you really can't? And Big Juice, I see your question, and I'm sorry, Mama Quita. Um,
Go ahead and say what you're gonna say, and then I'm gonna address Big Dicks.
okay. Well, only thing I was saying was how it's all tied together. And it's crazy that Big Juice popped up this question because that was kind of the road I was about to lead down to with almost this same kind of question.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know how to kill that void. And as I stated earlier, they kill it with other things. And the things that I mentioned, Portia Kirkland came in and also stated that we replace God with other things.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to you, rejections and a lot of rejection come, and the reason why people fall victim to rejection is because they don't have that personal relationship with God to be able to say, oh, you told me no? Oh, it's a reason you told me no. Maybe it's not meant for me
It.
to be here. But
That's it.
then to go through constant hurt, pain, hurt, pain consistently, it still leaves scars, as you said. It still leaves internal wounds. And as Big Juice says, and I was pretty much not necessarily this particular question, but in this area, how do you kill the scars? How do you get rid of the bad memories?
It's a choice. I don't care how you do how you look at it. It is a choice. We all have choices. We have choice to make the decision that we're going to heal and walk away from it, or we have a choice to sit and marinate and allow it to dictate my every move. People get, it's when I said you go through identifying it and calling it what it is, and then you move into your grieving process. And then after the grieving process, you have a choice. You have the choice to say, okay, this is no longer going to dictate any more of my life. I do not give this any power over any parts of my life, or you have a choice to fall into a depression. You have the choice to fall into that state where you can't come up out of that hole anymore. And that's why it's so important to have that relationship with God, because yes, now you do have a void. Now where that person was, there's a hole there. And God may have removed that person for the simple fact, or even allowed you to deal with that person because he was trying to get you to a place where you would turn to him and deal, because normally that person wasn't where that void started. They just made that void bigger.
Right.
They were in that spot. They were in that spot feeling a piece of that slot, and they just kind of, it's like a hole that you've put something in, and now I've stretched it out a little bit bigger, but now I'm pulling that back out. So now you've got a bigger void than what you started with.
And
now,
no, go ahead.
And now you either let that void fester and start trying to fill it with sex, other people. Some people, they just start spending money because if I buy me stuff, I get that temporary happiness that I want.
Right.
You start to fill it with those outside things, but it'll never be filled. Because even if you start filling it with other people, they're going to fall through the hole, or they're going to make the hole bigger. It'll never be a complete fulfillment until you fill it with God. Mr. Claire says time with God.
Right.
Time with God, time with healing. Exactly.
And it's crazy.
Godly time heals all.
And it's crazy that you just said what you said. Because I deleted verbatim what you just said out of my inspirational rant. Because I didn't want to make it too long. Okay. And also with your grieving, the grieving process.
Hold on, before you get to that, let me I didn't get to the part that you and Big Juice, do you erase those bad memories? Because you really can't. I'm gonna tell you, okay, so this just recently happened with me. I had forgiven my ex-husband a long time ago for a lot of stuff. But recently, with where I am and who I'm dealing with, one of the situations, I literally was sitting down. I can't remember what I was doing, but a vision came across of a situation that happened between he and I. Those feelings automatically welled up within me. And when they welled up within me, immediately I was able to pinpoint them and stop them. Now, for me, I started quoting scripture, resist the devil and he shall flee. I refuse to give you a foothold in my life. And this is what I'm saying. I'm literally telling you what I said out loud because I know how I have to combat things that are just trying to come back up. But I literally sat there and I said, I have already forgiven him. God, allow me to forget that memory. And I promise you, the next day, I was trying to tell my friend about it. And I was trying to remember the situation. And he was like, when I was trying to tell him the situation, I couldn't even remember the situation, that the vision that came across that caused me to feel that pain again, because God had taken it away from my memory. You can ask God to take away those memories, and he will do that. And the enemy is going to come in and he's going to try and remind you of those. And you have to say, oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not entertaining that. But you have to be mindful You have to train yourself to get there, because if it's something that's fresh to you, you will entertain it. It will put you back in that place. It's not something that happens overnight. It is something that happens with time.
But the question is, you
I
gave
hope that
him
made
your
sense.
heart
Okay, so
and
you
you
was about to say
broke it. How do you? And I'm glad you asked that question, Big Juice. Big Juice said, but the question is, you gave him, her, your heart, and they broke it. We done. Okay. How do you fix it now? And instead of me asking Mama Quita this question, I'm what I had as a question, I'm gonna make as a statement, and hopefully that answers your question, and it's gonna piggyback off of everything that was discussed today. How do you fix that? First thing Mama Quita said was you have to go through the grieving process.
no,
If
you have to identify it first.
well, identify that there's
Talk
an
with
issue. So your heart is broken. Is I'm pretty sure at that point he's hurt. Your heart broken. It's identified.
Hold on. I don't want you to skip this part. When I say identify it, I need you to actually call it what it is. A lot of times we don't even want to call it what it is, and that'll keep you stuck also. You have to be able to call it what it is.
Foolishness.
So bad at you right now.
But I agree
But
because
you have to be able to call it what it is.
right because and it's and as you mentioned that you called out what you saw with your ex-husband. What I'm gonna tell you how God work is God works off you opening your mouth and confessing. That's why he said confess all your sins. Confess to me. Talk to me. Come to me. Open your mouth. Right. Like the doctor say, open wide. Open your mouth. Um, and acknowledge what happened, how you got there, how everything is, how it turned out. But listening and tying everything all together, I swear God is amazing. Um, Once you identify this situation, you it's a must that you go through a grieving process, Big Juice. Failing to go through a grieving process leads to void. And if you fail to go through the grieving process, then you will replace void with more void. If you tend to go through the grieving process, 9 times out of 10, if it's done right and you really are looking to be helped and you have some spiritual guidance, how do you fix that? Take your time for your grieving. Because in your grieving, then take time to find God. Because you were realizing your grieving process that you kind of made that person your God. And it kind of goes back to Portia Words of Wisdom. It goes back to the Inspirational Rant. It goes back to the love series as a whole, being rejected. Rejection is sometimes your protection. But if you don't have God first, then you will constantly have this void because you will never know how to properly deal with your rejection. And then, if not dealing with the rejection and going through the grieving, then you will fall into the void. Then, like Mama Quita said, now you mad at God. And he told you not to do it anyway, but you did it anyway. So since you did it anyway, God will allow you to go ahead and do what it is that you truly want to do, especially after he keep telling you not to. So now, that is the thing that Mama Quita said you got the call by name. You were hard headed. You didn't listen. Which wraps up everything that Mama Quita's been speaking about for the whole year and what she made the announcement on the first day back in season 3 for the Love series. You have to take responsibility for you. You have to take responsibility for your actions. You have to face the fact that you were wrong. You have to face the fact that you messed up. You have to face the fact that you did it. You did. ignored the red flags. You ignored the signs. You ignored certain things. You did. The person is still going to be them. And sometimes you ignore it, and God will let you go ahead and go through it. And then after you go through it, Big Juice, then hopefully, but there will come a time, though, Big Juice, that God will get tired of you going through it because he has something else for you to do. And when God gets tired of you going through it because you wasting his time, I'm just speaking from experience of recently. When God gets tired of you not listening, and when God gets tired of you not doing what he set for you to do, God will put you in a rejection place. Because once you become rejection, if you truly know God, he know you going to call him before the void kicks in. And as I told y'all earlier today, void falls right in line with Mama Queen and being rejected. This void means a feeling or condition of loneliness, deprivation, something without content, ineffectual, invalidated, nullified, useless, vain, containing no matter, emptiness, vacant. But what was great to even think about Mama Quita even speaking on rejection. Void in Genesis 1 really means chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So once you are full of void, you're full of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't go through the grieving process, and if you don't learn how to put God first, as Miss Portia Kirkland said, then you will fall on this whole list that I wrote down with Mama Quita. Just hopefully you don't become number 10. But everything else, you will feel the abandonment. Your abandonment will kill all your personal relationships. You'll start piggybacking off of other relationships. It will be hard for you to maintain your health and a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
You can't produce. You won't move. As she said, you will become a captain saver. You will withdraw from being around from people. You will shrink yourself. You won't be who you are. You will shrink yourself because you now become afraid of being rejected. And as she said, you have to come out of denial, Big Juice. And denial is one of the biggest killers besides high blood pressure and stress.
And Big Juice, don't say, here's the thing. Things didn't work out between you and her. Who's to say that after some time, because you now, y'all know I shoot straight, so Big Juicy it is. Do your self-work. Work on you. Figure out what I need to know. Was it so bad that you can't even ask her what the problem was, why you all didn't make it? Because I need you, when you all went your separate ways, she was telling you what the problem was, you just weren't listening.
And Big Juice told us 8 months ago what the problem was. And it was something that I had told Big Juice that he had to work on for himself. And he has to work on
the
himself.
issue is, if you don't work on that, all of your relationships are going to end up the same way because you're stuck in a cycle.
Right.
And the only way to fix that is to deal with you and where that issue came from. So you've got to deal with that.
Right. And Big Juice, not only, first Big Juice, you have to deal with your problem and acknowledge your problem. Now, you said probably never because you knew she was the one. Now, let me tell you something about that one thing. God will never bring you the one until he feels you are properly ready for it. And that's just speaking from man to man. I'm just being 100 with you, Big Juice. It may look good. It may taste good. It may feel good. It may be a whole lot of good to it. And Big Juice, not saying that she's a bad woman because she could be a good woman. Doesn't mean that she's the good woman for you. She could be the one. Doesn't mean that she's the one for you. Let me look in the camera because I'm looking at Big Juice uh, comments, and I'm talking to Big Juice like if I'm actually looking into the camera because I'm used to it being right here, but it's here. So Big Juice, tell you something I learned, and it took me 39 years. Actually, as a child, I always I never really wanted to go down that road. But when I became a man, it changed. But what I can say is this, Big Juice, 21 years, 22 actually, God been working on me to get it right. But what I can tell you is this, God would never send you what he truly has for you unless you're truly ready for it. And if you out here wilding and you still doing whatever you got to do, then you won't get it. But I can tell you this, God has a timing that none of us are on. It's 10:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Big Juice, you are on Central Time. Yeah, because you're in Ohio. So you're on Central Time. Your time and my time is not on God's time. But what I can tell you is this. When God is ready to move and he ready for you to move, he going to make the necessary adjustments. Whether you think that they're the right adjustments or not. No matter how confusing it may be. No matter how crazy it may look. No matter what nobody going to say. No matter the backlash you're going to take. No matter the hate you're going to receive. No matter who get pulled out of your life. Because when that time happens, people will leave. They will pull out. They will pull off. Because God got other people flying in, parking, and coming. Because you had people taking up his space. So until you work on you, Big Juice, until you deal with your rejection, until you deal with Big Juice as Big Juice, you are wasting God's time and you have his space cluttered with people and things that shouldn't be there. And he got a whole stack of stuff sitting back here he want to give you, but he ain't going to give it to you until you deal with you. And I'm just speaking from experience. And this is something I just had to learn in the last 60 days. And it's an amazing experience. I can tell you that. And sometimes, as I told y'all on Monday, some of y'all got a dollar in your hand and you're happy. Ooh, I got a dollar. I got this dollar in my hand. And God is like, let me get your dollar. Get my dollar. No, I ain't get my dollar. Well, let me get your dollar. He ain't telling you why he want the dollar. He just wants your dollar. Let me get that dollar. Because little do you know that God really want to give you $100 for your dollar. He want to upgrade you. But because you sometimes become complacent, because you don't want to feel rejection, because giving up the dollar is a form of rejection. And because giving up the dollar means that you have to trust, obey, and step out on faith. And a lot of us are afraid to do that. That's the reason why we are caught in rejection. That's the reason why we are caught in void. And that is the reason why we put all of these things before Christ. So Big Juice says, well, it was my fault. No job, drinking every day. She wanted more. I couldn't apply that, even if I wanted it. Even if I wanted that, but she was good to me. So that's what I'm saying, Big Juice. But what I do know about you now, Big Juice, you working. You getting your money. You applying yourself. But as I told you a long time ago, the drinking, you're going to have to cut back on that or you leave it alone. Because one of the things that you felt from your father was the same thing. You seen it. So now since you see it, you know it, you recognize it, as Mama Quita said, you have now come out of the denial states. Now it's time for you to go through your grieving process. So go ahead and grieve. As she said, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and blow the big snot out your nose. And it's going to be okay. But what I recommend for you, Big Juice, is big up your prayer life. Start having conversations with God. Ask Him to be a part of your life. Ask Him to lead you and guide you. Ask Him to show you. Ask Him to fill that void. Ask Him to let there be light in that unformed, voided, dark place. Because if He can do it with the earth, you are greater. You are a greater creation than everything that you can go outside and see. This was the reason Satan fell. Because God let him know that we were a greater creation than he was. Because he was asked to bow down and worship us. That is how the war broke out. So if you're that great, Big Juice, God will leave all of us to come and get you, Big Juice. He would say, Gov, Mama Quita, sit right here. I got to go get Big Juice. He will come get you. He's your shepherd. He will leave the 99 to come save the one. He will leave us sitting right here. He will put the whole show on pause. Poop. I gotta go get Big Juice. So, God, stay like this. I'm gonna freeze Mama Quita's screen, and I'm gonna leave you like this. Time out. I gotta go get Big Juice. So, Big Juice, maybe you're part of my offering today. So I offer you Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, Big Juice. I offer you to accept Him wholeheartedly. I offer you to repent of everything that you've done wrong. I offer you this. Usually churches take an offering, they want something from you. I'm here to give something to you. I offer you Jesus Christ. Accept Him as your Lord and Savior, Big Juice. Allow God to come into your heart wholeheartedly. Find you a room in your house, even if it's the closet. Make that your prayer closet. The same way I'm talking to you is the same way you can talk to God. And I promise you, and Mama Quita can vouch for this, He will talk back if you're willing to listen. The thing is, Big Juice, are you willing to listen? Are you really ready for that change? Are you really ready for that wife? Are you really ready for that one to be good to you? Because if you're not ready, you won't get it. He'll keep it for you. It might be 60. He'll get it to you then. Because then that's when you became ready. But what I can tell you, Big Juice, let's not wait 30 years. Go ahead and get that favor now while you can. And take care, Big Juice. Because let me explain something to you, Big Juice. If you're not good, nobody that depends on you will be. So I offer that to you, Big Juice. The question is when. It sucks being lonely. Loneliness means that you have a void. So accept Jesus Christ, and I promise you He will kill all loneliness. You won't be lonely. God said, I will never leave you or forsake you. So you're not alone. You will never be lonely. You might can't get your rocks off, because I'm pretty sure it's probably how you really truly feeling. But that's not the important thing of even being with somebody. That's why you have to feel that loneliness. Because God did create a woman for you. And when you meet her, Big Juice, I promise you. Couple of things. Number one, you ain't gonna even believe who it is. Number two, I guarantee you know that person. And number three, it will be the best thing that ever happened to you. don't know why I keep looking at his comments. I should be looking at you right here. I'm sorry, Big Juice. But honestly, it would be the best thing ever. It's the reason why Adam jumped on Eve the way he did. Quick. That's me? Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone? Yes, Lord. Woo. Man, leave his mom and his daddy. And cleave to his wife. But you're never lonely, Big Juice. Allow God to fill that lonely void. Lonely means void. And you only feel lonely because you've been rejected. But as Portia Kirkman said, if you put God first. And as Mama Quita said 20 times today, if you put God first. You put God first, Big Juice, meaning a woman will probably be second nature to you. Because the only one that you really gonna worry about is that one that he made for you. So that's what I got for you, Big Juice. I love you, Big Juice. And Big Juice, answering your question, I done took up Mama Quita time. So now I'm in trouble, Big Juice. I'm in trouble, Big Juice.
No, that was right on point. That was what needed to be said. So you're not in trouble. We're good.
Okay, thank you, Jesus. There is a God in heaven. Good morning, Miss Graham. How you doing? Hey, Miss Graham. Miss Graham. I don't know. That might have been on my end.
Oh,
That means something.
okay, be back. Sorry, y'all. Don't know what just happened.
Good morning, Miss Loretta. Good morning, Miss Graham. Maybe it was meant for y'all to come in on Mama Quita closing. So without further ado.
All right, so I think we had a good discussion about rejection being our protection. Big Juice, I pray it hit your soul, baby. I hope it gives you some comfort. For everyone else that's listening, I hope, even with what Big Juice was saying, I hope that we gave you stuff that will feed your soul and not wound your soul. We got some good instructions today on how to properly take care of our soul wounds. The main thing is rejection creates voids. Voids can only be filled by God. Take your time with God. Get in his presence. Get to know him so that you can process those rejections to understand that it's actually protection and it's a way of building your character and creating in you what he created, getting out of you what he put in you before he placed you in your mother's womb. So love somebody, hug somebody, smile, give somebody something that they may not have gotten from anyone else. Y'all have a good day. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there with y'all. He'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Monday. Yeah, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, for those that came in late, it will behoove you to go back and watch the replay. If you're on Facebook, you can go back and watch the replay. If you're on YouTube, you can still go back and watch the replay. I thank Facebook and YouTube for being here, rocking. Show somebody some love. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share. Tell somebody, invite somebody in. God loves y'all, man. Listen, at the end of the day, regardless of who abandoned you, who rejected you, who hurt you, who did you wrong, who tried to take you out, know that God loves you, but he does. And let him love you. Accept his son as your Lord and Savior. Allow him to leave you with the comforter called the Holy Spirit. The one that will bring you all peace. Go do something righteous. Be good to somebody, bless somebody, love somebody. Let God know that you love him. And we'll be back here on Monday getting real messy. And Nancy Pelosi, yeah, we're going to get messy on Monday. So that's our time, man. I love y'all. Gone. I was waiting on your bye, Mama Quita. There we go.
Bye, y'all.
It's time to get up and get ready. Yeah. For the hottest morning show in the ATL.